I told you that we can make quartz, and we can make it from quartz, and we can make it look exactly like quartz. And when you scratch it doing a Mohs hardness test, it will scratch just like quartz. What would you say? What would you say to that? Well, we can, and it exists, and it's called reconstituted or clarified quartz. We're going to get into it in this video, but before I get started, if you want to learn more about crystals, make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe. I am Bella from Bella Luna Crystals. I'm a crystal educator and I own a crystal shop. And today we're going to be talking about reconstituted quartz. All right, let's get into the video. Now you see me holding this sphere here. I'm going to try to get it up close. I use Zoom to record because it makes me more comfy and I feel safer doing that. These spheres are on the market all over the place. You'll see them with pyrite. They're known to have this composite back on the side, high clarity looking here, and then something usually on the inside. We will see them with garden quartz. We've seen them with azurite in them. I think those are the main three that I've seen. If you've seen any others, let me know below. But whenever I see this composite base, I want you to know that that is a sign that the mineral is non-authentic, that it's a human-made product, okay? So when you see these. Now, when I initially saw these on the market, I thought, you know, those are probably smelt quartz. So smelt quartz is a process where you have some quartz product and you mix it with glass and it's a glass product because it looks super duper clear, just like glass. And then, and I can't believe no one really talks about this because I forgot about it too. I'm like, these are scratching though, like a quartz specimen would, like it would scratch glass quite easily. And so people were going around saying, no, these are authentic because they can scratch glass with them. And so thereby they must be real quartz. But I knew they were not. My supplier that I purchased this from, and I purchased this as an educational tool, told me they were not. And he's like, hey, I see a lot of people in the States selling these as authentic, and they're not. They're human-made. So what I realized in that moment, these are not smelt quartz. These are most likely reconstituted quartz. Now, what is that? That is when we take quartz, which now these are primarily coming out of China, and this is nothing pro or con for China in any way. We don't like to call out specific countries, okay? And they have quite an abundance of quartz though. So what they do is they melt down quartz, remove the impurities, get the iron out of it, anything that's making it not look super duper perfect clear, and then they can pour it into a mold. Now this is also often done with fluorite. So when you see those little itty bitty baby like fluorite carvings or those little teeny quartz carvings that all look 100% identical and they're miniature, most likely they were done with this reconstitution process. They could also be carved by lasers from what I've been told. I haven't heard much on that process, so I'm not going to speak too much on it. But those little itty bitty ones that are all identical, super duper high clarity, most likely were reconstituted. Now, someone who's being genuine with you will tell you that if you are shopping wholesale in another country. But unfortunately, not everyone is genuine. Okay, so let me show you a couple examples of reconstituted quartz in addition to these sphere friends that are floating around. Now, I'm not 100% sure it's reconstituted. I'm not going to pay for formal testing on this thing. It's very obvious based on the price point. This is non-authentic. Quartz of this clarity, just so you all know, with literally nothing when you are looking through the top, is exceedingly rare. Exceedingly rare. You cannot tell me that a supplier has 10 kilos of these that look identical and they're all 100% natural. I don't believe it. I don't. That's a huge red flag for me when I am shopping. This clarity, not common. Okay. Especially if it had pyrite floaters. There are some authentic quartz and pyrite, also not common. And it's going to be hundreds, not like 60 to 100, which I see these going for on different sales platforms. It will be hundreds. Like a sphere this size, if it was solid clear, if it was truly this clear and it had pyrite floaters, multiple hundreds of dollars. Okay, so just perspective, it can happen, but this is non-authentic. Okay, let me pull you up a little example from our favorite website, Schmamazon. Okay. Now look here, look at how high clarity this bad boy is, 150 millimeters. We're usually talking diameter when we use in millimeters when we talk about spheres. Some sellers in the States will use the American standard, but most of us are going to use the metric system. And look at how pretty and clear she is. Look, gorgeous, little stand, cute stand, high clarity. Now let's go a little bit deeper into the listing, okay? We're going to go down. Let's see what we find. Dun, 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 dun. Right here in the product description, this crystal ball is made out of 100%, right here, I'll highlight it for you, reconstituted clear quartz. Okay, they're being transparent. I don't mind if y'all like it and you want to buy it. That's cool. Just be transparent about it. Like, tell people if they still want to get it. Cool. Now, this technically it is made of quartz. So that is why it will probably scratch glass. Okay. They also have another important safety warning here, which I will also echo for them because I have seen this happen in my personal house. Do not expose it to prolonged sunlight. It will cause a fire. Do not put your quartz near a window where the sun comes through. It will cause a fire. It has happened. All right, now, how do you spot this stuff? Okay, let's figure it out. All right, I'm going to pause and we're going to come back to the big screen. Now, if you were to put this side by side with a natural quartz specimen of that clarity, it would be really hard to discern for your average collector or novice. One of the big things that you want to look for in quartz is it's pretty common for there to be some kind of inclusion. Crystal clear, like the sphere I showed you on Amazon, exceedingly rare. That would probably be, gosh, in that size, probably thousands. Price is a one indicator too. If it is really low and it's super, super high clarity, for example, I'm like, where did I put it? These guys here that sell for, I think the most I've seen them selling is $150, and they're all about this size. They're all like the same mold. And that, if it were authentic, would be multiple hundreds. So that's kind of a way we can look and see, like, hey, that looks a little suspicious. When I look inside this sphere, I am seeing nothing, not a single thing in there. Now, mine also had another little treat that made it pretty obvious that it was human made inside of mine. And I can't show you on camera because to get the angle right to show you, there is a hair in mine, a human, it looks darn near like a human hair. So the person who was making it lost a little hair. I can see it in there clearly. There is a hairline, thin little hair in mine. So anything that looks non-natural inside of it, that's kind of a red flag too. Again, another big red flag if you're shopping wholesale or you're shopping even retail and someone has like 10 of them and they're all identical. In nature, those occurring and us being able to have that to sell is exceedingly rare. That'd be really rare, and I would expect to be charged multiple hundreds. Again, seeing the composite base here, and I've seen people say, oh, it's natural, they just stick it on there. Now, technically, here's where we get into semantics, right? We talk about natural. Technically, if it's reconstituted, it's freaking quartz, right? So I could tell you it's quartz. There is no clear definition of natural when it comes to products. And this is where a lot of companies will do this. They will say, oh, my product is all natural, but there's no real like definition of what do you mean by natural? Natural to me might mean something different than natural to you. So a good way to ask is, has this product been altered? Is it clarified? Is it reconstituted? Has it been poured into a mold? And a good seller will tell you yes, or they will tell you no. Now, if you like learning about crystals, I'm gonna take a little pause and remind you to hit that like button and subscribe. I've got more content coming. I also got a Patreon if you want to check that out. Patreon gets these videos early, okay? And there's some other fun tiers in there. Now, lastly, the main thing to remember when shopping minerals is to really build trust with someone you're buying from and make sure they understand the product they're selling. Good sellers are going to know their product. My friends that are sellers in the community, we all know this stuff is not authentic. And no, while it's not bad to collect it, if you just enjoy it, it's important that you know what you are getting. So watch out for these bad boys, friends floating around. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching. I am Bella from Bella Luna Crystals.